Hi, my name is Chris Ruter, and this is my story. Growing up, I was raised in a Christian home. Both parents were pretty religious. We always had that big King James Bible in our living room. Had the normal Christian routine, go to church on Wednesdays and Sundays. Every couple summers, go down to Bible camp. And that's actually where I first came to Christ. I don't think it was so much I knew what he had done for me, more so that I just really didn't want to go to hell. When I was 14, my grandparents on my dad's side passed away, and that always kind of left sort of a bitterness in my heart towards God. I always felt like, why would he take them away from me? Why did he have to do that? And I just kind of drifted away from him after that. When I was 17, my belief in God was that he was there, but he didn't really do anything. He didn't really affect anything, and praying didn't really cause anything to happen or help. And after the last season of basketball ended, I started experimenting with drugs and alcohol. And I started going down that path until I was about 19, and that's when I got my OWI. After that, I started battling pretty severely with depression, and it got to be to a point where every day I was either high or drunk to deal with the pain. I didn't really want to feel anything, and that's kind of how I coped with it. During those times when I was either drunk or high, I'll have several breakdowns throughout it where I just cry out, why am I here? I don't want to be around anymore. That happened till about the beginning of the year, and I finally got to a point where I couldn't do it by myself anymore, and I decided I needed to come see a counselor here in Willow Creek. I stopped drinking, became completely sober for about a month and a half. I started reading The Stranger, and actually started understanding Scripture. I finally understood that it wasn't what I could do, it was what Jesus had done for me already. Because my thoughts were always, if I was a good person and did good things, that's what got me into heaven. And, things were looking up until about midway through February, and there was an incident that happened, and it shot me right back down into my depression. I felt like a monster. I had hurt somebody that I cared about so deeply, and I just felt like I couldn't deal with myself anymore. And on February 16th, I got home from work, grabbed a couple bottles, and just started hitting them hard. I got pretty deep into them, and I finally decided I just didn't want to be here anymore. And I went into my bathroom, grabbed a bottle of pills, and just started slamming them. I ended up in the hospital for about 4 days. In that time, I didn't really have anything else to do besides think about what I had done, think about all the people I'd hurt, and dive into Scripture. I was able to share with some of the people there during group sessions, and I had never done anything like that before. To actually spread the gospel was something completely new for me. And I think doing that and just reading for days was what actually brought me back into Christ. And that's where I actually accepted him into my heart and believed that he died on the cross for me, he was buried for me, and he was resurrected for me. Through all that, in depression, I've still got it. It's not something that just kind of fades away. I mean, having somebody that I know will always love me so deeply, and will always be there for me to listen to me about any of my problems ever, it definitely makes it a lot easier to deal with. If you haven't read The Stranger, I encourage you to do so. It's a very powerful book. That's my story.